Are you ready to get woke?
So yeah, man, let's get into some this fascinating stuff. So, cause give me an example, cause you told me some really funny stories of people like trying to screw you, like over the phone, doing all these crazy shit, and I'm like, what the people do this? Apparently they do this. So let's just get into some of that stuff.
Okay.
And one of the most famous, and everyone knows this, so it's not like we're not like putting out any secrets, but a guy called Ross Jeffries, like one of the earliest pickup guys.
Yeah.
Super creepy, doing all kinds of manipulative stuff. And even when I was young, and I was in my 20s and I read the game, I immediately just listened, and I was like, oh, you're just using psychological tricks to trick women into bed. And I was like, no thanks, I'm not interested in that. I mean, because I knew right away it wasn't a real connection. It's using some kind of manipulation. So I was like, no thanks. But that's always been around. That's been around in our era for quite some time. So let's talk a little bit about,
Yeah. So about manipulation, I would say manipulation, again, what's the intention behind it? If I'm about to jump off a bridge and someone shows up and they say, don't do it. And I'm like, no, I fucking made my mind up. I want to do this. I hope that guy can manipulate me to change my mind or persuade. I think they're synonymous in the meanings of the word. But again, attention. What are you trying to manipulate somebody out of or into? And is it really serving them? And that's why I say what you do is of value. So you offering somebody and they're a good fit and they're a good fit, bring them in. Like, hey, you're going to be served powerfully. And that's been my sales mindset. And you can get a good deal. If it's a bad deal, call me, let me know. I'll fucking change some shit. And I've done that too. That's another story. So, Ross Jeffries. So, I've followed Ross Jeffries. I've watched his programs. I've paid for stuff from him. And there's people, this is what's really interesting. I'll see people who claim to be really good at NLP in the pickup artist group. And then I'll go, why isn't that person ever at NLP conventions? Why are they not at the Hypnosis or Hypno Thoughts Las Vegas, which is a big seminar? And I'm like, why is this person not there? And then I realized that they, when I ask, they're like, oh, he's blacklisted. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, we don't sell tickets to that guy. And I'm like, really? And I'll ask around. They're like, oh yeah, we wouldn't let that guy here. And it's always the same set of names. And his is one of those names. So he has a thing called the Girlfriend Destroyer. It's talked about in the book, The Game. And that's, people go to him like, oh, he didn't make that up. He stole that from another person who's trained with Bandler. And I've been mentored by this person too. And the story is public. That's really, it's, like, what the hell? Why would you want to destroy someone's relationship? So I had a begrudgingly friendly relationship with Ross Jeffries up until about 2.5 years ago, where he used the Girlfriend Destroyer pattern over the phone with me. And I said, beg your pardon? And he's like, oh yeah. And he repeated it again. And I said, hey, gotta go. Bye. I hung up the phone, unfriended, blocked the calls. The best defense against the black side or the dark side, the black NLP side. I'm not talking about my African brothers and sisters, but the dark side of NLP or someone doing something negative is just say no, 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 and walk away. Just no, turn off the TV. NLP is done through the TV and the radio, whether you like it or not. You're like, that's not what we do here at this ad agent. Bullshit. That's what you fucking do. And I can prove it again and again. So, yeah, he did that. And so I seen him do it on other people's girlfriends. And I was like, hey, dude, he's doing this to your girlfriend, right? And he's like, no, dude, he's cool. And I'm like, So I have recordings of it. And so it's gross. So that's something that I've seen him do. And that's why he's not invited to certain cliques inside NLP therapeutic circles or NLP persuasion circles. And people have picked up on it and they've moved away. And I just, I think it's gross. I think it's really gross. And he said he turned over a new leaf. He was at the same house where you were at with me. Pardon me. He was there speaking. And said he had a bad heart attack and turned over a new leaf. And I just don't, I wish him the best. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. So I've placed Ross Jeffries in a place of indifference in my life, where I don't care if he lives or dies or is happy or sad. It's just, I put him in limbo.
So what will be some some real life examples of where people, because you don't usually get like high level hypno guys walking around life trying to manipulate people, or do we? And what will be some more practical examples of how somebody might be trying to manipulate somebody using specific techniques to do something?
Okay.
Like that's really douchey, like trying to get somebody to break up with their girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because the first time you told me that story, you told me exactly what he was trying to do with the pattern on your girlfriend, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like it was really fucked up.
Yeah.
But so maybe you feel like sharing that, but just other examples of how people might try to use that stuff, and then most importantly, how do we fucking see it and stop it?
Okay, so how do you see it and stop it? One, it's very hard to see it and stop it with somebody who's properly trained. Okay, I would say even for myself, like I really don't like. I will tell people before I do something, like how we did here. I like to have an agreement because one, it works that much like bigger. It's like a bigger oomph when you have agreements. And then they're like, yeah, I want to have a better belief about myself selling from stage. And that's where I shine.
Yeah, but I mean, you're scaring me because you're making me think that it sounds like there's no way to prevent it because it would just be someone talking to you.
Yes.
And so the only way to prevent it, you said, is to leave, just walk away. But you wouldn't walk away if you didn't know what they were doing.
Right. So the biggest thing is one, atop the Temple of Adelphi, know thyself. Go and meditate. Do some yoga. Get your diet right. Unplug from the TV for a little bit. And start really realizing what it's like to be yourself. What is your natural homeostasis state? How do you feel? Now, if you start feeling a dip very radically that goes towards the can, like the shit can, ding, 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 ding. That means you need to change environments. You need to get out. Like, okay. And you're being conditioned or manipulated into feeling a certain way that's shitty. Or you're feeling really good. So if you've heard the term love bombing before, a lot of narcissists and sociopaths do it. And I have a website called impactfulchangeshypnosis.com. If you go there, click articles, there's a article called Gaslighting 101, How to Catch an Abuser. Those are really good tips on how to catch, or gaslighting is a technical term where you make someone feel like they're insane or you manipulate them. But it's very synonymous with dark side NLP. How can I say how to prevent it? I would say being aware of your natural state and when you meet new people. Mm-hmm. New people, you should have a little bit of a barrier. So my big thing is know your hardcore truths. Hardcore truths. Is the sun going to rise tomorrow? Yes. Hardcore truth. Boom. Is your name Alex? Is your name Sasha? Yes. Are we in Los Angeles? Yes. So you have these absolute truths. And this is kind of like if you've seen the movie with the Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. He has a spinner. He said that's his constant. Then to let him know if he's inside the dream world. If you have a set of questions that you always ask yourself and you always know the true answer, that gives you a psychological or mental construct of what truth is. And knowing what truth is keeps you on the straight and narrow. It allows you to judge. But if you have another set of questions that you know are completely erroneous and bullshit, like I know things are false. The sun is going to rise in the east, right? So is it going to rise in the west? No. It sets in the west. Like, that's bullshit. Now you have something where you can actually anchor yourself from a hell no and a hell yes. And you can actually go, okay, boom. So you can say, you can use this for every day in your life. But that is a really good way to sit there and go like, am I going to give my money away for something that's bullshit? Hell no. No. Am I going to do something? Am I going to give my money away for something that's of equal or greater value that's going to help me in my life? Yes, I'm going to do that. Yes. And yes, I'm doing gestural anchoring and conditioning to Sasha and to you in the video. So cards up, okay? But yeah, so that is one way. If you start seeing something like that, absolute truth anchoring. You know, this bullshit. Now you want to do something else that's really crazy about the anchoring of truth?
Do tell me.
I'm going to do it right in the camera. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That was a good Clinton impression.
You know, I have a good Bill Clinton impersonation. I'm going to tell you what I told them at Fox News. Those guys are crooks. but not as big as a crook as me. But anyway, so little side note, Bill Clinton, the night before he did his testimony for Monica Lewinsky for that impeachment trial, he actually spent almost the whole day with Tony Robbins inside the Oval Office working on things. And this was a gesture that Tony Robbins taught his students before that. He doesn't do it anymore. And this is definitive truth. I did not have sex relations with that woman. So he was actually using NLP and conditioning the whole audience, the judge, the Congress, everyone who was watching, even on the news. And so then there's other videos of like him before the speech where he's getting makeup and he looks like he's in a hypnotic trance. That was something that Tony Robbins gave him to calm him down so he could go into uptime, which is a faster processing of information. And that's another example of manipulation in the media. But yeah, and I have no desire to kill myself. I just want to say that. I want to live a long life. So if I get Epsteined because of that. But yeah, so